What is up, you guys? Well, it's Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday, so I don't know what time it's gonna be or what day it's gonna be when you see this video, but welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do another video of my experience, one of my experiences at the CIA. Graduation is coming up real close, and I just finished my first restaurant at the CIA. Before I start talking and talk your ears off, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and I appreciate every one of you for watching my videos. Let's get started. Excuse my hair, I look like a 5-year-old, but my hair's really pissing me off lately, so anyways, so I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about my experience in my first restaurant. So at the end of your school year thing of your associates program at the CIA, you choose 2 restaurants, and my bad if this changes along the line, but this is just how it is right now. So there's 3 main restaurants on campus. It's Bocuse, American Bounty, and Caterina. And so you get to choose 2 restaurants. So my first restaurant that I chose was Caterina, and that's the Italian restaurant on campus, and it's run by an Italian chef straight out of Italy. He's a badass, like he's really freaking cool. Going into this class, I didn't really have a preference on what restaurant I wanted to do, but I'm not really familiar with like cooking with Italian food, so I was like, why not, you know, might as well try it out. And so I was on the pasta station because you do 3 weeks back of house and 3 weeks front of house for each restaurant. So I started off on the pasta station with my girlfriend. We were partners and it worked really well together. The reason that I chose AM over PM, because you get to choose AM or PM, is because first of all, you have to do front of house, and I'm not very like familiar with front of house, and so I didn't want to do a dinner shift at front of house and be overwhelmed. Like I wanted to ease my way into it. I would highly recommend, if you're not familiar with the front of house, or like, you know, you're not really comfortable with serving people and everything, like definitely do front of house AM over PM, because you might be overwhelmed, you might fudge up a lot, and you're gonna like, you know, maybe not get such a good grade. Most of the people at the CIA don't want to do front of house, they want to do back of house. So just like take that into consideration when you're choosing your restaurants. My experience of back of house was freaking phenomenal. It wasn't hard or anything. It was a little challenging, but like service wasn't crazy. It wasn't ever crazy busy to where I was like dying, you know, and plus I had a partner, so that really helped. This class goes same as any other class. Like you go in, you cook, and then you have lecture, and then you learn about Italy and all this stuff. You get to choose your station going into it. So one of my top choices was pasta, because obviously I'm not very, like I love cooking pasta, but I'm not very good at it, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to just be better at it, let's just put it that way. So I wanted to grow in that area, so me and my friend chose pasta station, and it was great. Like we worked really well together. Didn't get slammed. I thought the pasta station would be really hard, because obviously it was an Italian restaurant. Like, you know, everybody's coming to fucking the Italian restaurant for some pastas. No, not the craziest thing. I learned how to make gnocchi by hand, which was one of the most cool things ever. Like I think I've made it once before, but I really like actually fully understand how to make it now, so I'm 100% grateful for that. And I made it when I went home to my family, and just learning like the different dishes and everything. The chef that does work in Caterina, amazing. Like I literally have nothing bad to say about him. He's very knowledgeable in what he does, and he really does take time to like teach you how to do things. I really enjoyed it, and I was surprised because, you know, I've had experiences with a couple chefs that just don't give a fuck. We had our MIT, and that was very interesting because sometimes you just don't get along with the MITs, you know? So MIT is manager in training. Pretty much they're just like old students that want to be managers, so they're like doing the MIT position at the CIA to get knowledge in being a manager. I'm not saying that the MIT in Caterina was bad, because like we were fine, like she's really cool, but like a lot of the MITs are a joke on campus. Like they'll literally hire anybody, and I'm not even trying to be rude, it's just the harsh reality. Like, I can never see half the people that are MITs being managers because it would be a shit show. That's besides the point. Learned a lot of really amazing dishes. This class was the best because we got to make breakfast every day because we had to be there at like 5:30 every morning. We got to make breakfast and family meal for front of house and back of the house, and we got to order whatever we wanted and make whatever we want. So we each had to put a dish up every day, and we had dank breakfast and dank lunch every day, and it was phenomenal. So that was amazing because I was never deprived of food at all, so can't complain in that area. The 3 weeks went by really quickly. If I were to like judge on that class, it went by very smooth. There wasn't like any people that were like horrible, you know, like we didn't go down in flames. Going into this class, I was very nervous because I thought I was like, I don't know, I just hear really bad things about the restaurants and like everybody goes down and it's like a shit show and everything, but it went really well. I guess it also depends on like your class and everything, but it went well. In the back of house, I had an amazing experience, and I would highly recommend doing your back of house experience at Caterina because beautiful restaurant, beautiful food. It's not crazy fine dining, like it's just it's kind of casual. You learn a lot about food, you learn a lot about Italy. I just like, after taking that class, I want to go to Italy so bad, which I probably will. And I just have nothing bad to say about the back of house. But okay, so front of house. Oh god. So front of house comes 3 weeks later and we have to go serve people. I am not a shy person by any means. Like, I'm literally the most crazy, like, hyper person you'll ever meet. And the first day I was like, and it was the day right before we went to summer break, and we had to do 1 day of front of house before we went on summer break. And I kid you not, I was having a panic attack. Like, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I literally can't do this. I don't want to serve. Like, I was so nervous. I literally was gonna throw up. And I was like about to cry because I was like, why did they make us do this? Like, I was having all these really bad thoughts running through my head. Like, fuck this school. Why do they make us do this? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I got over my fears. And I had a really nice table. They were really cool. And once you get into the groove of things, you feel a lot better about it. But I was like, after the first day, I was like, ugh, this is gonna be a long 3 weeks because that was hard. And like, I'm always scared I'm gonna like drop friggin' water on their heads or like something stupid or accidentally stab them with a knife. So every day I really had bad anxiety going into front of house. And there were a lot of times that us as a class, we did mess up because like there's so much detail that goes into serving front of house at the CIA, like the steps of service, the steps of dessert service, the steps of pouring wine, opening champagne, blah, blah, blah. Like, all that stuff really scared the living daylights out of me. And every person that I talked to, like, going into front of house was so nervous. Everybody's nervous going into it, but I'm here to tell you, just remember that most of the people that are eating at the CIA are old and they're visiting and going on tours, so who cares? You know, they're not gonna, like, I understand how it is to serve like younger people. It gets kind of intimidating because you're like, you know, people, like younger people are a lot more entitled and like bitchy, so it does get a little nerve-wracking. Okay, so they're old, you're never gonna see them again, like most likely, and if you mess up, they need to understand that they're coming into a learning environment. Like, you're not getting 5-star service because most of these students have never served a day in their damn life. Like, they should know that their expectations aren't, you know, like, don't have high expectations coming in, because even though the service is amazing and the food's amazing, like, shit is gonna happen because people are not used to this type of like environment. And also, you're not getting paid. You're in a learning environment. So if you mess up, don't feel like shit. You're not gonna get fired. You don't even get paid. You don't get tipped. So this is the place to mess up. If you want to be front of house, this is the place to mess up because you're not actually getting paid. You're not gonna get fired. So just remember that, because that's the part that got me through it the most, because I'm not getting paid for this. Like, yeah, I messed up, whatever. I dropped some silverware on the ground. I didn't place the correct silverware on the right place. You're gonna fail, you're gonna mess up. Just be honest with yourself. The professor for front of house, he was absolutely amazing, from Italy as well. So knowledgeable in what he does, and we would mess up sometimes and he would get so mad, but like not say anything to our faces. Like he would just not talk to us, which kind of sucked. We figured it all out. It can be fun or it can be really horrible. It's like what you make of it, you know? You can have the best time serving because you can have amazing people, you can have a really good group of people that want to help you out, like your class and everything, or you can have a really shitty time with people that just don't give a shit about you and they don't want to help you, and you're pretty much a loner. I'm lucky the fact that I had the people in my class that I had, because we were all about helping each other. We were all about, you know, oh, I need this at that table, like let me go, you know, can you go do this for me? Everybody had each other's backs, and that's really how you have to do it. If you're selfish in this industry, in this front of house environment especially, like you're not gonna make it. So just take that into consideration. Let's be honest, nobody wants to do this, but let's just make the best of it. As much as I really hated serving, imagine if I did get paid. Like how much harder would we work if we did get paid and we got tips? Because you're not allowed to accept tips and everything, but you meet so many cool people. All they want to hear is your story about, you know, like where you're from, what's your story, what are you planning on doing after graduation. That's really what everybody wants to hear. So it's really not that intimidating. You're gonna be fine. It's not as bad as you think. And sometimes you come across really amazing guests. The last table that I had, like for the last day of Caterina, they were the nicest people I've ever met, and they were so sweet, and they were like, we were so lucky to have you, and they like took pictures with me at the end, and they loved me, and it was just the best feeling ever, because they really genuinely did feel like I gave them the best service. It really does go a long way when you do try. Like I kind of like am laughing at myself saying this right now, because I was the queen of complaining about this class. Like I was like, this is so dumb, like why does the CIA make us do this? And so I would get really pissed off, but now looking back on it, I'm just like, that was a good learning experience. Although I'm gonna have to do it one more time, I really don't want to. It was a good experience, to say the least. Give it your all. It's not as bad as you think. Study your steps of service, definitely, because that's what the instructors will be keeping an eye out on, and they want to see you take initiative. If you actually work for it, it'll be rewarded to you, because obviously I didn't, like a lot of the time I feel like I didn't try, and like it kind of showed in my service, you know? So you just have to reevaluate what you're doing every day. Even though it sucks, nobody wants to do it, especially not getting paid. That's the part that pisses me off, but it's fine. The nicest part is you get little comment cards. The people are supposed to fill out comment cards like when you give them their check, because it's a good indication of feedback for the professor to see how you did and everything. So I would just, it's the best feeling ever when people write really nice things. Doing front of house has benefited me, because I actually took a job working a wedding with one of the chefs at the school. It's his company, and I would have never taken a front of house job, but it was $25 an hour. And now that I have that confidence, I can kind of like do whatever I want, like the confidence to serve people. I can go work in a wedding in front of house if I want to, and I do. You never know what's gonna happen. I just want to let you guys know how my experience was and everything. It really isn't as bad as you imagine. It's actually rewarding once you're done. And we all drank some champagne, drank up. That was the best of it. So I just want to let you guys know about my experience at Caterina. And now I'm in Bocuse. The fudge. I have 5.5, 6 weeks left, and then I'm done, you guys. Kind of want to throw up. I don't know what the fudge is happening. Like, this went by very quickly. I'm gonna puke talking about it. I hope you guys found this video informational. If you have any questions, I'm gonna post a Q&A on my channel. Feel free to ask me any questions about the CIA or myself in general, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a quick little recap of my experience at Caterina De Medici. Such a beautiful restaurant. I want to go eat there, actually. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!